Thank you. Pat, you stole my speech. Earlier in the week, I was really, as I'm sure everyone else was, really trying to think of a lot of kind ways to express our thoughts and appreciation for the college, for the people, and all the things that have gone into making our St. Michael's experience. And I had spoken with Chris Kinney over in the athletic department, and I was actually asking him, what do people usually do? Should I write it down? He told me I can write it, put some things, notes down on an index card. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I struggled with that all week and actually woke up at around 6 o'clock this morning. And I started to jot some notes down and crossed it out because I didn't like the way the sentence sounded. I started writing again, and I erased that. And I just said, forget it. So I'm slightly going to wing it, but everything that I'm sure that I will say is from the heart, because St. Michael's means a lot to me and has helped me grow and develop from a young man into the person I am today. For those of you who may not know, for me in high school was a very difficult time for me. I attended 5 high schools in 5 years, and primarily because I struggled academically. And it wasn't until my senior year of high school, when I went away to boarding school, that I was able to attain some type of academic success, primarily because of a lot of the things that I was able to use and learn at that point, and finally was able to grasp it. So I wound up finishing my senior year of high school, actually turning it around and graduating with honors that year. But there have been so many times throughout the years that I've actually wondered to myself, how did I even get admitted into St. Michael's? And I'm sure, with a lot of what I do right now, with working with kids and understanding the whole athletic and admission process, I'm sure I didn't make the decision easy for Jerry Flanagan or the rest of the admission department. But fortunately for me, I'm glad that they took a chance on me. Once I got to St. Michael's, based upon a lot of the tools and skills that I learned as a high school senior, I was able to make it academically, I was able to fit in and do well academically. But for me, when I think about St. Michael's College, it's not an institution to me, it's more of a lifestyle. And I say time and time again to a lot of the people that I'm still in contact with here at the college, that as much as I've had the opportunity to travel and as many people as I've had the opportunity to meet, there is no place that I have ever been where I've received, and not only myself, but I can see the love and support and the sincerity in terms of help that everyone here at the college offers. And for me, it was almost like a marriage made in heaven, because naturally I'm a giver. I'm the type of person that I like to share my joy and my passion and my experiences with other people. And I actually take a lot of pride and joy in terms of seeing other people succeed and prosper, which is exactly what the St. Michael's mission falls in line with. So when I came to St. Michael's, it was very refreshing and rewarding for me to be able to receive the ultimate support of yet what I was used to giving. And I can go back to remembering and thinking, as far back as being in grade school when I first started trying to play basketballs on different teams. And I remember this one particular team, and my parents, my dad didn't play collegiate basketball, my mother was not a basketball player, But what they did for me at an early age was they surrounded me with a lot of people and put me in situations where I was able to learn the game of basketball and be around a lot of people that had a lot of pride and passion in terms of teaching me and honing me. And I remember going to try out for teams that my parents would actually go out and do the legwork and try to find the best situations to get me involved with and for me to be a part of. And every time that my parents would go out and find different teams for me to try out on, the first thing I do is tell all my friends. So one day, my mother said to me, she said, Jason, when we set you up with these teams to go try out on, you need to get on the team first before you go and tell all your friends about it. Because subsequently what's going to happen is that they're going to make the team and you're not. And we're the ones that did all the work in terms of finding the teams. And I was always the smallest one out the group. But I think from a basketball standpoint, it shows you the confidence I had in my game, though. So luckily for me, I never got to the point where my friends made the team and I didn't. But just thinking back, again, it really, showed me, and I think it demonstrates at an early age how I was willing to always want to give and share. And it has not, it is not, and hopefully it will not continue to be about me. Coming into St. Michael's, there are so many things that I learned here as a student athlete that are so much a part of my life now that I never really even conceptualized or realized would really affect and help mold me into who I am today. Because when I was a student athlete here, I don't know if I necessarily knew what I wanted to do after college, but I definitely didn't envision me starting my own business or even have anything to do with Big Apple basketball. And one of the toughest things for me as a student athlete, I'll be honest, I probably shouldn't say toughest, probably the thing that I actually hated being a student athlete here was when Tom Crowley, who was the head coach at the time, appointed me team captain for my final 2 years. I didn't ask to be captain, and the more that I had to handle the responsibility of being captain, the more I really disliked it. And I remember, especially being 21 years old, it's hard enough to try to be responsible for myself, let alone 10 to 12 other guys. I had to worry about my own academic situation. I was trying to be the best player that I could be for the team, and yet he's making me responsible for an entire group of people. And it got to the point where, it just seemed like on a weekly basis, he'd call me in his office, and I remember his favorite line, "Hey Jay, what's the mood of the troops?" Oh gosh. And I look at him and I just say to myself, well, you know what the locker room is. You're the coach. You go talk to him. You find out the mood of the troops. Well, hey, Jay, the freshmen are late. You got to get on them, buddy. This one. I'm sorry, Dave. Hey, Jay, your roommate Dave doesn't know any of the plays. You got to get on him. It was just so much constantly that it felt like it was just overwhelming for me to try to manage the entire group. And he put so much responsibility on me that I had to start calling team meetings. Anytime that there were things that were not great with the team, I tried to really spearhead it and nip it in the bud as quickly as possible. And it's ironic that as much as I didn't like that at the time, how much that taught me and really played an important part in who I am today in terms of my overall leadership skills. Because so many of those things that I developed then at 21 years old then are things that I really incorporate into my life now, especially with running my own organization. As much as I was satisfied with my entire St. Mike's experience, there were still a few things that I didn't accomplish individually from a basketball standpoint, and there was still some things that I didn't accomplish from a team standpoint. But one of the things that as I look back and really think about my career and time here at St. Michael's, that really makes me internally proud is that I can honestly say, and I think a lot of people that knew me at the time when I was here know that everything on the court and off the court, I put a 100% effort into being the best that I could be. So even with the things that I did not accomplish, I look back and I can say that there's nothing else about my St. Michael's experience that I would change, because everything that I thought I could do, I did. Anytime anyone talked to me about improving in any capacity, I tried it. I always tried to be as open and willing to learn. And in dealing with a lot of kids now, you know, one of the things that I always try to do is try to get them to perform and excel to their maximum effort and their potential. And I'm sure that we all know that a lot of people do not reach their potential because they really don't exert all of their internal resources or external resources, or really mentally or physically apply themselves all of the time. And now that I see how few and far between that is, it really makes me more proud to know that at the time that I was here as a student athlete, that I gave absolutely everything I could to the college. I'd like to finish up by saying that now that I've started Big Apple Basketball, and Patrick really elaborated on what we do and what our mission is in terms of really trying to help kids across the metropolitan area gain college scholarships based upon their academic achievements and basketball ability. Believe me, it is not just me. I tell Chris Kinney all the time, I'm almost like maybe the face of Big Apple Basketball, but there's so much St. Michael's involvement with Big Apple Basketball that there is almost nothing that I do or decision that I make without bouncing it off of a lot of people, predominantly my St. Michael's family. You know, Chris Kinney can tell you, and Lisa, I'll apologize to you and the girls right now for as many times as I've called the house, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. I know sometimes Chris's sleep as late as I call. You know, a lot of my former teammates, you know, Chris Clary, you know, Kyle Redmond, there's so many people here that help me, that volunteer, that I can rely on, that I bounce things off of, that there is absolutely no way that I would be able to help as many kids as I'm able to do without the love and the help and the support of all my St. Michael's family. You know, so I'd like to thank, you know, all of you for coming out here tonight. I'm extremely humbled and honored by this experience, and I hope that everything that I continue, and my Aunt Barbara, who's here, who took the Amtrak, you know, I will never forget, you know, even during that tough time when I was in high school, she took me in and let me live with her and her family with 4 kids, her husband of her own, a house full of people, and had a makeshift bedroom for me on her porch where she just literally put up a curtain. And I had, you know, a little clock radio. It wasn't much, but I know, you know, and I'll never forget, you know, how much, you know, she really looked out for me. And again, you know, knowing that that was a tough time, every little bit helped. But I really hope that everything that I continue to do individually, and as far as growing Big Apple Basketball and assisting kids, I really hope that I'm not only able to do myself proud and make myself proud, but but I hope that I'm able to make everyone in here and everyone part of the St. Michael's community, happy and proud for me, and proud and happy to know that I'm an alum living the St. Michael's mission. Thank you.